Welcome back to the next episode of the Pool podcast. Today, I'm really excited to talk about a project that we're working on for a long time. The Pool of Talent. I know a lot of people in the community have been hearing about it, but maybe do not really have a clear concept of what it actually is or who's involved with it. So it's quite exciting today for me to have Yuval here and Lily. Welcome.
Thanks.
And we're going to be talking a little bit about what this project is, what it entails, where it comes from, and what the future vision is. So first thing, I would actually like to get to know you guys a little bit more. So Yuval, if you don't mind, we'll start with you. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell me a little bit who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a sixth form student. I'm in my last year at BISM. I'm aspiring to study economics in university in London, hopefully. And I'm very interested in economics and finance in that world. I've always found myself to be quite entrepreneurial and, quite a business mindset. And, when I was approached last year with the idea of the Pool of Talent, I thought it was an incredible opportunity. And we've been progressing with that slowly. And here we are.
Excellent. Where are you from, Yuval?
I'm very mixed. So my mom originates from Eastern Europe, so Ukraine and Russia. My dad is Israeli, part Romanian as well. So a lot of mixed background.
Common story now in Marbella, right? Everybody's
Sure.
from everywhere, and that's how it is. Lily, same question. Tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I'm also a sixth form student. I'm in my first year of A-levels, and I want to go into medicine, also hopefully in the UK. And I'm also very mixed. My dad is Iranian, and my mom is American. And same with me, I'm very interested in kind of what I can do to give other people opportunities to be able to maybe make themselves look better on CVs or just like better their experience range and stuff like that. And so last year when Yuval and some of the other people presented this to me, I was like, wow, this is such a great opportunity. I definitely want to get involved into this.
Really cool. I mean, when I look back at when I was your age, which is a couple of years ago, the word entrepreneurship for me basically meant nothing. I mean, I'm not going to blame it only on the educational system. I was going to the Spanish educational system, but my link to entrepreneurship was zero. So for me, just the fact that you guys at your age are already talking about that, you want to be entrepreneurs, that you're interested and you want to contribute and collaborate, for me, that's quite amazing. But there is a story that is quite close to my heart that I've heard before, Yuval, and this one is going to fall into you to explain. I want you to explain the Cafeteria school thing.
Sure. So when I joined my current school, BISM, it was in 2020. Back then, I was always quite hungry, so I wanted to get stuff in school to eat.
That's the reason you're so tremendously big. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is, yeah. So we couldn't get anything to school to eat apart from, the school lunches. So we thought, why don't we open a cafe? We've had other schools which had tuck shops, for example. Mm-hmm. So we were like, all right, let's open a coffee shop. Let's, sell some baked goods. Let's sell some, drinks to the students. And we asked the school for a loan. But they said, you have no source of income. You're going to have to, show us that you can actually pay it back eventually. Okay. So we started with a pre-order system, actually. So we would collect orders from 12 to 12:30 and, make them and then sell them at the end of the day at 4:30. And we did that for a few months. Then they said, you know what? We can give you a loan. They gave us the loan in the end. We, built a bar. And eventually we got to the point where we had a full-time employee. And we then, about a year ago, sold it back to the school, which was quite a surreal experience.
So you were, when was that? When did that happen? Was that this year, last year?
We sold it, I'm in year 13 now. I sold it in year 11, so it was summer of 2023.
Okay, so you were between 15 and 16 years old at the point.
Yeah.
And you already had your first exit.
I did, yeah.
That's quite impressive. So what was the school approach to it? I mean, when you came and you said like, hey, I think we can do better in the cafeteria, we can do something different, or...
I mean, it was just non-existent. So, I thought this is a problem. We need to find a solution. If I can't get someone else to make the solution, I'll just do it myself. So that's what I did.
Okay, and obviously, Lily, you've experienced the cafe per se, and what did people feel about it?
It's amazing. Everybody loves it because it was definitely an issue, and now that it's open for everyone from people all primary and secondary and sixth form, it's amazing. It's a lifesaver.
I could imagine. I mean, well, congratulations. I mean, your first exit when you were 15, 16. Actually, you created a concept that was actually, that was needed by the school. So you created a solution. And actually, you maybe even created a business for the school at the end of the day. So win-win for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're out really, as you know, I'm really excited about the Pool of Talent. The Pool of Talent is actually it's a project that the pool has been, had his eye on for a while. The idea, I think, originally came from Fredrik Boge, who's one of the founders, and he's the energy motor behind it. But I would really like to hear in your words what the Pool of Talent is.
Okay, so the Pool of Talent, the way I see it, it's a bridge which helps interconnect, the thriving young population of Marbella with the emerging business community. If I had to put it in one sentence, I think that would be it. So the Pool of Talents, initiative under the pool, I think it's incredible. I think it's a great opportunity for like-minded people, to network, meet, companies, meet top-level executives, because Marbella is really unique in that aspect. A lot of, companies which have, been established, and the executives come to live in Marbella because of the lifestyle, and you meet a lot of top people at these companies, and it's really unique in that aspect. And I think it's a great opportunity for young people here in Marbella who are aspiring to start their careers or find out what they're interested in, to meet these people and talk about their experiences.
When did you hear about the Pool of Talent for the first time?
I think it was between January and February this year.
Mm-hmm.
So Carlotta, who was a senior of mine at BISM, approached me with the idea, said, Fredrik really wants to do this, he really wants to push this, and could you help me, start this? And I said, sounds great, I'm in, and here we are.
Perfect. Lily, how about you? When did you hear about the Pool of Talent for the first time?
I think you guys presented it to us in April,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah. And then I was like, yes, I want to do this. And so I signed up. I was like, how can I get involved into this? Because it's something everyone looks for, If in the UK, in the US, everywhere you can get internships fairly easily. But here, nothing. And so I was like, okay, I want to do this. And then a few months ago, Yuval and Lucas, they approached me and they were like, do you want to join in with us? So I interviewed and they were like, yeah, come join us. And so
I think it's important that for the Pool of Talent to succeed, it's good to have a big group of you guys, of the young talent involved, because it can get to a point that it requires a little bit of work, and I know that you guys are kind of in a busy moment right now, so I think that's a really a good idea that you opened up and you got a lot of people. Expanding on that, who is involved right now in the Pool of Talent? Who is behind the scenes?
Well, there's myself, Lillian as well, of course. Lucas, who's also a classmate of mine in our school, he's responsible for a lot of the tech development, so he's coding a website for us now, which hopefully, fingers crossed, will be up in the next few days. We have everything sorted. And Carlotta, who was a senior at our school, who is recently graduated, and she was, the one who started off the initiative with Fredrik and brought me in and brought everybody else in.
Perfect. Any particular moment of the Pool of Talent that rings to you, that you think, okay, I've been involved in, it's been, we've had some things happening, but anyone in particular in one moment that you think was kind of fun?
I remember the first day that I was brought here to be interviewed by Fredrik. He brought myself and Carlotta to this room, and he told us to present ourselves to, I think it was 5 owners of unicorn companies. Basically, on the spot, introduce yourselves, who you are.
It sounds like something that Fredrik normally does.
Exactly.
All completely unexpected. He puts you in there, but I think it was a good learning thing for you as well, right?
Yeah, and I didn't know what unicorns were at the start, so I thought of it as quite casual. And then he left and he explained to me what a unicorn company was, and I was like, wow, okay.
I don't know if many people in the lives actually get the opportunity to in one room have 4 or 5 unicorn founders. Yeah. That's very unheard of, but that's one of the beauties of Marbella, and that is what we're kind of doing here as well. So that was your moment, right?
Yeah.
Lily, same question.
Oh gosh. I think I've just joined this whole initiative, but I think for me, something that was really stood out to me, we did a little session with someone who was very good in presentation skills and stuff like that. So I think that was really cool to kind of learn from someone who like does this professionally and teaches people how to be effective presenters like for their job. So I think that was a really cool experience because I don't think I would have got that.
I mean, well, the people behind the pool of talent from our side, it's Maria Cepero, Iris Ardell, and then obviously myself and Fredrik Boga. The vision we had as well is, I think the sentence that you use to present the idea of the pool of talent is perfect. I love it. It's short and to the point. But then there's a lot of other stuff involved as well. So, for instance, we are looking maybe to do a little excursion to the Google offices for you guys to see it, for the people who are interested. But then there's a lot of extra things. I mean, we're doing want to arrange events where people actually maybe the main focus is the internships. We've got the companies or the tech entrepreneurs who need the young talent, and we've got the young talent, which right now is kind of scattered. And I think the pool of talent, I mean, we're early stages. Right now, it's just your school, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we had this event that we had last week with MIUC, the Marbella International University Center, where you actually got the chance to sit down and listen to Andreas Mihalovic, who is angel investor in 180-something companies.
182, yeah.
Exactly. And then Ignacio Alonso as well, who's a Spanish entrepreneur. He's 28, incredible guy who's coming today as well. He's going to be meeting with some of the students who want to follow up on that event. So, I think, but that's the beauty. I mean, I see this as kind of a startup. You guys are running it, and we're throwing in our ideas, and you guys actually get to consolidate them. So with that vision, what do you think the future will be, the immediate steps and maybe the long-term goal?
Baby steps, I think we have to, start slow, go school by school. So right now, we have MIUC, make sure, that as we get as many opportunities as possible for those people. And we just work our way through school slowly, establish our name and our brand, who we are, what we do, so they get an idea. And then just slowly go through those schools one by one, and do our best with them. That's the way I see it.
Okay. In the long run?
And in the long run, well, potentially we can even cater to companies that are outside the pool of talents, for example. So, there's a lot of hospitality businesses here in Marbella, and just, maybe even reach out to Malaga, for example, and try set up internship opportunities there. That's the long run goal or dream, I can say.
Question for Lily. What would you feel would be like the most exciting moment that you could foresee in the future of the pool of talent, that you would say, okay, I would love that to happen, and that will make me tremendously happy?
I think because hopefully many people who are our age will be able to kind of get internships, be successful, go off to university. And I think something that would be like a full circle moment would be kind of maybe like 5-10 years from now, seeing like people who are coming back with the connections that they've made here with the pool of talents, and I don't know, maybe finding a job with the company that they interned with or things like that. That would be such a like full circle moment.
Really, really cool. Actually, today we were talking, as I mentioned, with Bob Van Winden, who's now moved to Bridge, but he was head of operations of Stripe. And we were talking about Marbella. One of the things that we were discussing is that we've got probably very good to the best education at school levels, but from there upwards, not so much anymore. So we were discussing the importance of that. So I'd like to hear your vision on that. Obviously, I know that both of you, coincidentally, you're looking to study in the UK, but I mean, what would you guys think if we had like more options of education, first degree education here?
I mean, Marbella is quite unique in both aspects. So Marbella has about 15 international schools, which is one of the most international or most dense areas in Europe of international schools. But then you just have the complete contrast of no points of further education. So it's really unique in that aspect. And in the short run, I don't really see Marbella developing, universities or things like that. But one thing that they are developing, is their emerging business community. So they can definitely, try attract young talents, especially because of the lifestyle. But also with the pool, for example, I think it's a great initiative, just, helping establish all the companies here. I think it would definitely be a great place for young people to start their careers because they have the lifestyle that they're looking for, and also the companies now.
I think that was one of the reasons behind La Roche Marbella. I'm a La Roche Marbella student myself. And obviously it's a Swiss school, so they got a school in Switzerland and a school here. And the one here is doing very well, but precisely because what you mentioned, the quality of life here sometimes can be more appealing to being in a mountain resort up in Switzerland. It appeals to different people, but it's something that actually, enhances the entire Marbella experience or the education experience here. I would like to hear about your personal future view, long term. Regardless of the pool of talent, I would like to know what your future ambitions are. We'll start with you, Yuval.
Okay, so, well, as I said, I'm aspiring to study in the UK in London. After that, hoping, to get into either the banking industry and then maybe long-term venture capital, for example. It's a bit ambitious, I would say, but I'm quite driven towards that. And then also more long-term, getting into the startup world, starting my own business. I've always, especially starting after the coffee shop, that's my goal, that's my dream.
Okay, in any particular area for now? Would it be within finance? Would it be in hospitality? Or?
Most likely within finance.
Okay.
Similar to my mom, she was the CEO of a company in China, and then after that, she started her own businesses. But then I also have passions for food, which, believe it or not, I love cooking and things like that. I took that probably from my mom as well. But then I'm also quite interested in trading a lot. So
okay.
if I had to do more in the finance route, I'd pick trading. More, I don't know, colorful, then I'd pick cooking.
So an ideal world would be a combination between finance, food, and trading. So
exactly.
Interesting. Lily, same thing. What would you like to see your future looking like?
I want to go into medicine, so I want to be a doctor. I'm not sure what type of doctor yet. We'll wait and see. But so finish medical school, be a doctor. I don't know where I want to live. I kind of want to live here. It's a really nice place to live. It's like ideal, close to everything.
Have you lived in other places, or is Marbella been your base?
I lived in California until 2020.
Okay.
So almost my whole life.
So you've been in California. Where in California?
San Diego.
In San Diego, and you've been in Marbella.
Yes.
Yeah, putting some quite high expectations for the other locations to actually go to, but yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, hopefully, I want to start my own practice.
Okay.
Because I'm interested in business. I'm taking business. I think that would be kind of a way I could advance my career further. Yeah. And then kind of what my mom's done, she started 2 businesses related to her job teaching. And so hopefully something like that with my own practice, then it can be more flexible with work-life balance and stuff like that.
Perfect. Moving back a little bit to the pool of talent. Now, if somebody watched this and is curious about it, do we need more people? We find who we are. What is the state we're looking at?
The more the merrier, definitely. Lucas and I are going into our last year. Carlotta is also, working now. So I think if anybody's interested, it would be more than welcome to approach us. We can, fill you in. We can show you the ropes like we are with Lillian now, and then it'll be your show from then on. So.
Just a little bit of a recap of what would people actually benefit for the fact of reaching out to you guys for the pool of talent thing. What can you actually help them with?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a great networking opportunity. You're going to meet a lot of people, who are similar-minded to you, who have the same level of ambitions, potentially similar interests. And then, of course, there's an internship opportunity. I think that's just a really unique experience that you just can't find anywhere in this region. And then, of course, events, as we had with MIUC earlier. I think that's a great opportunity. You don't get many events of such networking opportunities here in Marbella. And, of course, we mentioned as well trips. I think it's a great opportunity for you to find out what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, and really narrowing down your future ambitions. And I think all of that, put into one experience is one of a kind. I don't think you get anything else like it.
Perfect. Well, guys, unless there's something else that you want to add, is it the case? You would like to add something about the pool of talents or anything?
If you're interested in internships, for example, or, just a networking experience, definitely reach out to us. We'll do whatever we can, to help you meet your goals and help you meet like-minded people. That's all I can really add.
So at the bottom of the podcast, we'll be adding the link to the pool of talent, so you can actually find out more information there once the website is 100% ready. So guys, I would really like to thank you for your time. Lily, pleasure as always. Yuval, same thing. I wish you guys all the best, and we will continue working on the pool of talent.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.